delighted to be here this afternoon for the second time, as you mentioned, sir, as a guest speaker to this distinguished institute. Thank you very much, Professor Sharma, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity again. The subject today, as my friends have already told, is all about autonomous mobility. And I will try not to be very technical and make it as simple as I can. After my graduation from IIT Kharagpur, which all of you have talked about, I spent about 10 years in the aircraft industry, where I learned the manufacturing technology, which was further supplemented by my MBA program. I was very fortunate to be a member of DPSA, Deep Penetration Strike Aircraft, in those days, through which we selected the so-called Jaguar. I'm talking of very early days, late 70s and early 80s. And like today, we are talking of medium multi-role combat aircraft, Rafale. You know, all these things, anything which Indian Air Force has ever bought has gone through tremendous amount of controversy. My subject is not there today, but what I wanted to really say that most innovation and technologies which have come in this world have been either developed for aviation and space industry or for military. And so has been the case of autonomous vehicles. This also largely started for the military, and today, of course, it has found its application everywhere. After 10 years in the aircraft industry, I spent a long time, 25 years in Eicher Group, which you mentioned. And during this period, I had some excellent experience of turning around some 6 companies. One of them was Ramesh, which you mentioned about, the transmission company, and later on Royal Enfield, something which I talked about in my last session, and obviously I'm not going to touch upon that. But today, my subject is going to be, as I said, very, very different. Post Eicher, you know, I have been involved in this HiTech robotics, which you all have mentioned, and here I'm here since last 9 or 10 years. I've been mentoring the CEO of this company, this very innovative company, where we have achieved many breakthrough work in the field of robotics and autonomous vehicle, which experiences I'm going to share in terms of my story. So my conversation today will be on autonomous mobility and how it has become a game changer in the future of mobility. I will also talk about autonomous mobile robots, which is nothing but an extension of autonomous mobility, and how they are going to change the world through Industry 4.0. I don't know whether you heard of Industry 4.0. I'm talking the 4th Industrial Revolution, which has already begun, you know, after we have gone through the 3 Industrial Revolutions, which is duly supported by artificial intelligence, IoT, the big data, and the kind of things we're talking about. All that you will see how it gets married into that. Industry 4.0 is not a subject which is being talked about in gathering like this. Now it has become a flavor of that period, of this time. Even our Prime Minister the other day, and it is October 12, 2018, gave a long speech in the World Economic Forum Center for the 4th Industrial Revolution, that how all the fears which are there, that Industry 4.0 on autonomous mobility will drive out jobs is totally wrong. On the other hand, it will bring many new jobs and will change the nature of the jobs in time to come. And we have to all prepare for this. Now, let me go to, how do I shift? This one. So, let me give you a very short glance on the history of robots and autonomous vehicles. I'm sure all of you in your sometime would have known about this R2-D2, a fictional robot character in the Star Wars, a series which was created by George Lucas, and where he saves the fighter every time. I'm sure you would have seen, many of you, this small wonder, an American comedy and the science fiction sitcom, where the family of Ted, Joan, and Jamie, those of you who have seen it, where they have brought a Vicky, a robotic girl, and adopted her like a daughter. And the interesting part, of course, in one of the later parts of this serial, where a very nosy neighbor called Harriet, he has a crush on Vicky, not knowing that this is a robot. I'm sure many of you would have seen that. And of course, the Terminator 2, where the Judgment Day is again a science fiction.
Rohit. Sir, my question is, how do you feel that the idea of autonomous car is even feasible in country like India?
Yeah, I think good question. Very good question. That's why I was saying autonomous car. I showed you the various levels: L0, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. The ultimate autonomous car is L5 level. I am not seeing that for next 10 years, to be honest in India. But I am already seeing L0 level coming in, L1 level coming in. All these warning systems which I talked to you, I showed it to you. Driver state monitoring system, we talked in Novus Aware. Seeing in front collision warning, autonomous braking systems, which will be done by the software when the software sees there's something going wrong on the road. These things will come and they will provide you the safety.